Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the players we've got in the Japan and South Korea packs that we've recently got in eFootball. They're from the AFC Asian Cup. We've got 10 packs in total. There are 8 other packs from other nations. I don't think there are too many great players in those packs, so what I'm going to do is I'll do a separate video summarising the best players from those other 8 packs. So that video will be coming up soon. But in this video, I'm just going to look at the players in the Japan and South Korea packs. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. But let's have a look at who we've got. So, we'll start with South Korea. 11 players in the pack. You see there's a couple of 4 stars there, the rest are 5 stars though. There's some decent players in this pack. Let's have a look at who we've got. We'll start with Kim Young-Gwon. So, we've got a centre-back. He's fairly solid, to be honest. If you look down the middle, the way I've trained him, his defensive attributes are pretty strong. All these are going to be hitting 90 in the game plan if you've got a decent enough manager. On the right here, the pace is a little bit lacking. That's probably the one real concern with his attributes. He's not the quickest. Some people don't mind too much about the pace, but for me personally, I'd like a bit more pace on him. Stamina's pretty good though for centre-back. Aerially, this is the one area of concern, not just with the attributes, because the attributes aren't too bad. 86, 84, and then 84 for heading. So he's reasonably strong and decent in the air, you think. But when you scroll down here, he's 6'1", but there's no aerial superiority. So if you're going to get this guy and use him, you'll need aerial superiority to make sure he doesn't come up, you know, if you pardon the pun, come up short aerially. If your opponent's got big, tall strikers, he's spamming crosses into the box, you definitely need aerial superiority on this guy in those situations. But it's got interception, acrobatic clearance, starting tackle, those 3 are important. Captaincy is just a bonus, really. Could do with probably man marking and blocker as well. But aerial superiority is the big miss. But outside of that, if you were going to put those skills on him, like I say, he's pretty strong. You hit that game plan boost there, just to preview if you've got a good enough manager for the +2 and everything. 90 plus and all those is great. And physical and aerial, if you get aerial superiority on him, they're also pretty good. Just slightly lacking in pace, really, and there's the issue with the skills. So a couple of areas of concern, but if you put the skills on him, could be a pretty solid centre-half. Then we have Kim Jin-Su. We got a left-back. So this guy, you're going to see with a few players, like the centre-back we just looked at, he's fairly solid if you can put the right skills on him. With this guy, it's a similar situation. He's not amazing, but he's not bad. He's got pretty good pace. The physical contact's going to hit 70 in the game plan if you get a good enough boost. Balance is decent, stamina's good. Defensively, he's not brilliant. It's kind of okay-ish. Down the left, he's a little bit iffy on the ball. The passing's decent. Yeah, he's going to be hitting 80 plus for a low and lofted pass. Have a look down here. Dipping shot, acrobatic finishing, not really important for a fullback. Likewise, long throw. Interception that's crucial. He's got the most important one for a fullback. Captaincy and fighting spirit, I don't think they're going to make too much difference, really. He's got good stamina. But interception certainly is important. He doesn't have pinpoint crossing, but he does have 80 lofted pass, so his crossing won't be bad, it just won't be amazing. When we just preview the game plan boost here, as you see there, he's hit 90 for speed, stamina's 91. He's got great speed and stamina, which is really important for a fullback. He's not too bad defensively. He's a bit iffy on the ball, not too bad though. And the passing and crossing, like I say, are fairly decent. So yeah, is he amazing? No. Could maybe do pinpoint crossing on him as an attacking fullback, but ultimately, he's kind of a solid option. Not amazing, but pretty solid. So, yeah, not a bad one. Then we have Kim Seung-Gyu, goalkeeper. To be honest, just a good, solid keeper, really. Nothing really too much to say about him. He's about 6'1", just over 6'1". He's got pretty good reach. This is how I've trained him. I've got his awareness and his reflexes up to 88, so they'll hit 90 with the game plan boost. Catching and parrying will both be over 80, so he's a good solid keeper. He's got, you know, the core goalkeeping skills are good, and the reach as well, 6'1", so he's going to have good coverage as well. Got low punt there, a lot of people like that, long throw, penalty saver, offensive goalkeeper playing style. Yeah, good solid keeper. I'll show you the game plan boost. Just keep in mind with the jumping there, you see it's 78, so with the game plan boost that'll be 80. There's a glitch on eFootball Hub, so that's going to default his jumping to level 1. Ignore that, his jumping will hit 80, and as you see down there, 90 for awareness and reflexes, 89 reach, and the catching and parrying are okay. So yeah, good solid goalkeeper option. But one thing to note as well with a lot of the players in this pack, and this includes the first 2 we just looked at, no live update. He's not playing in the league where he gets live update, so he's not going to be getting A or B form, so that is a bit of a downside, so keep that in mind. But outside of that, he is a good solid goalkeeper. And then we have the first of a couple of strikers we're going to see. There's 4 strikers, I think, in this pack in total that we're going to see, but there's a couple here who are just kind of okay, but not amazing. And we start with a fox in the box, Cho Young-Wook. Again, no live update with this guy. He's kind of just decent. He's not bad by any means. He's actually the guy that I picked up from my free spin. I tried him a bit against the AI. He's not bad, but he's not amazing. As you can see, he's got decent awareness. He's got good finishing. He's fairly decent on the ball for a centre forward. This is how I've trained him. Passing is not brilliant. Over on the right here, not the quickest. It's kind of average speed, but he's got good acceleration, so he'll be nice and responsive. He'll be, quick off the marks. Pretty good balance. Stamina's pretty average. We look down at the skills. He's not got too many skills, but he's got some of the most important ones for a striker. First time shot and acrobatic finishing. Obviously, first time shot the most important. Track back, keep an eye on that. His stamina's okay, but if you don't want him to track back, then put counter target on him. Yeah, on the whole, he's just kind of a decent striker with nothing amazing about him. Personally, like I say, I've tried him a bit. I got him for my free spin. Feels alright. Not tried him online yet. I would say if you do get this guy, give him a go. See if you like him. You might do. Like I say, nothing amazing about him, but certainly he's got some decent attributes there. And you hit that game plan boost the way I've trained him. 90 finishing, he's certainly going to be able to take chances for you. So, yeah, good awareness, finishing, decent enough on the ball. Should be pretty responsive. Could be worth giving a go. It could be a decent one. Not amazing, but a decent one. And then likewise this guy, Cho Gue-Sung. Probably said that wrong. So this guy's actually a goal poacher. We've had a couple of strikers lately like this where they've got the goal poacher playing style, even though they've got the kind of physique and attributes of more of a target man in a way, because he's tall, he's 6'2". He's physically strong, he's got decent jumping. His pace is okay actually for a tall guy. Interestingly, we look down at the skills, there's one big downside to this guy. He does not have first time shot. That's a big miss. First time shot is so important for a centre forward. So if you're going to get this guy and use him, first time shot is a must. But outside of that, soul control is a really nice one to have on a big tall guy. He's got heading, acrobatic finishing, aerial superiority, so he's got all the aerial stuff. Should be good from crosses. And he's a super sub as well, which is another nice little bonus there. So could be an interesting sub to bring off the bench with his aerial ability. If we hit the game plan boost here, just to preview the game plan boost, we've got a good enough manager. As you see, jumping, physical contact, heading, all just over 80. He's got finishing and awareness 87, which is pretty good. He's not brilliant on the ball, but he could be worse, especially for a tall guy. Not the best passing, be careful with that. And like I say, pretty average pace, but for a big tall guy, that's not bad. On the whole, I think he's an interesting one. First time shot is a big miss from his skill set, but for a guy with pretty average pace, he's got awareness, he's got finishing, he's quite decent in the air, he's quite tall, he's kind of got a bit of everything. He's an interesting one, so especially as a super sub, again, he's not an amazing player by any means, and you will need first time shot if you plan to use him, but with the fact he's got a bit of everything, and you know, the fact he's a goal poacher, which I think there aren't many goal poachers who've got that aerial ability, that height, I think he's a decent all-rounder. He could be a useful one, especially as a super sub. So yeah, first time shot, that's a must. But outside of that, could be a useful one to pick up. Then we have Kim Tae-Hwan, so our other fullback. We've seen the left back who is kind of decent, but not amazing. And this is kind of the same situation, really. This is the right back now. Offensive fullback again. We'll start down the skills because we are missing interception. The most important skill, I think, for a fullback, interception is missing. So that's a big miss. If you get this guy, you plan to use him, first thing I would want to do is try and get interception on him. Does have sliding tackle and acrobatic clearance, 2 nice ones to have for a fullback. He does have pinpoint crossing as well. So with 83 lofted pass and pinpoint crossing, you should have a pretty good cross on him. Attribute-wise, there's 2 concerns for me. Tight possession is very low, and low pass is a bit low as well. So those two, I think you would notice them. Certainly tight possession you'll notice on the ball. Low pass as well, be careful with your passing. Ball control and dribbling are okay, especially the ball control. That's going to hit 80 on the game plan with a good enough boost. Defensively he's okay, not amazing, but pretty decent. Got good pace. Physical contact's going to get 70 in the game plan. Balance is decent, stamina is good. Very similar to the other fullback, to be honest. When we do hit that game plan boost, as you can see, like really good pace, and the physical gets past 70. Stamina's great. Defensively he's pretty decent, to be fair. And down the left there, the ball control is okay, and the crossing is going to be good. So, yeah, he's not an amazing fullback. He does need interception, but he could be a fairly solid option. So, not a bad one to pick up, to be honest. Then we got Kwon Chang-Hoon. So, this guy's interesting. He's versatile. He can play wide left, he can play wide right, he can play attacking mid. So the way the points are allocated here, I've kind of set him up as an attacking midfielder. We're going to look at him as an attacking midfielder, and then we're going to look at him as a wide man. So he's a left footer, he's a roaming flank. So if you play him out wide, he'll drift inside, take up some interesting positions, but as an attacking midfielder, won't have a play style active. So good on the ball, pretty good passing. Not the quickest, but good acceleration and good balance. So he should be quite responsive, quite nimble. Look down the skills. Bit of dribbly stuff, soul control's nice. Then he's got long range drive, heel trick, first time shot, one touch pass, pinpoint crossing. He's got a nice selection of skills there. He's got some end product. It would be nice if he had through passing though. So as an attacking midfielder, that's quite a big miss. So if you get this guy and you like him, and if you plan to use him in attacking midfield, through passing is a skill you definitely want to get on him. He does have super sub though. That's a nice bonus. So another tidy little super sub we've got here. If you want to use him as a wide man, I'm going to show you a slightly different build. So what we're going to do here, I think we're going to do that. So as a wide man, I would probably do this. I've taken a bit off his passing. The reason I've done that is because I don't think I'd want to use him on the left. I don't think he's quite got the pace, and I don't think his lofted pass is that great to play as a left winger. You could get away with him, but I think if you want to use him in the most effective way, wide on the right as a left footer, cutting aside onto his left foot, taking a bit of that passing away because it's not quite so important, but still good on the ball, pretty good offensive awareness for a wide man, bit more pace about him, very good balance, and as you see with the game plan boost here, if you've got a good enough manager, you'll be hitting 90 for balance. That acceleration is great. Very tidy on the ball with 90 for ball control. Bit of passing, his finishing is not too bad at 74, and also at 80 for car, so his long range drive could be pretty effective. I think this guy looks pretty interesting. He's got a fairly low centre of gravity. You look where he's good there with the acceleration and the balance especially. I think he's going to feel pretty neat on the ball, pretty responsive. He's got a bit of end product with some pretty good skills. I think this is a pretty tidy card. It's not an amazing one by any means, but I think the fact he's a super sub, the fact he's got some end product, he's quite versatile, left, right, or through the centre. I think it could be a pretty neat one to pick up. I quite like the look of this guy, to be honest. Then we have Hwang Hee-Chan, Wolves forward. So I have a version of this guy. The version I got was from, I think it was the Asian Fans Choice Pack or something quite a while back. I quite like it. This one goes one higher on his overall rating, maximum overall rating. And he's also got left mid and right mid added, which is nice. I like that. I like to play inverted wingers as wide midfielders, so that's a bonus for me. That's a plus point. So, is he any good? The way I've trained him here, I've trained him as a centre forward. I've had to reallocate quite a few points because as a centre forward, you need awareness and finishing, and the auto allocation didn't really do him justice, I don't think. So I've got his awareness and his finishing up to a decent level. Still pretty tidy on the ball. His passing will be hitting 70 for low pass in the game plan. Speed and acceleration pretty decent. He's going to be certainly very responsive. Balance is decent. Stamina is decent enough for a striker. But we've seen this before in his pack. We've got another striker who doesn't have first time shot. So if you're going to use him as a centre forward, you're going to need first time shot. Outside of that, he's got some decent skills here. Long range drive, rising shots, acrobatic finishing. He's got track back. Keep an eye on that as always. Put counter target on him if you don't want him tracking back too much. Another super sub. Could be another tidy one to have. Keep in mind with this guy, with Hwang, he's a dummy runner. It's not a common playing style, and it's not for everyone. He's going to start off in the middle, but he's going to be drifting out wide. He's going to make runs out to the flanks, either to the right or to the left, and he's going to drag a centre-back with him. So that can be effective if you use him right, but if it's not your cup of tea, you might not like that because he might not always be where you want him to be. But if you play him out wide, he won't have a play style active. He'll play more like a prolific winger probably. I quite like mine playing him out wide as a super sub. He's quick, he's good in the ball. If you do want to play him out wide, I would suggest reallocating his points. So I would do that. That's what I would do. So still pretty good awareness for a wide man. That's good awareness. Better on the ball now. He's going to be pretty neat on the ball. His passing will be reasonable. His finish will be quite decent. Now hit 80 with a good game plan boost. Good pace, especially acceleration. The balance is still decent. Stamina's not too bad. You hit that game plan boost. He's lovely. That finishing hitting 80. He's got long range drive. good on the ball, the pace, the awareness. Could be very effective playing up wide. He's a right footer, so I think definitely better on the left than the right. He's got a low attribute for lofted pass, no pinpoint crossing. So as a right footer, I think wide left, cutting inside with long range drive, decent finishing. Could be very effective, especially at the super sub. So yeah, different ways you can use this guy. He's a dummy runner, could be an interesting striker option to pick up, but very effective, I think, as a wide left sort of inverted winger, especially as a super sub. So pretty decent card, that. Certainly a very useful one. He's a little bit different as well. And then we have Jae-Sung. This one interests me because I've got the 3-star version of this guy and I quite like him. What he is, he can play right through the middle, from centre mid right up to striker. He's got the whole player playing style. It's a nice playing style. He's a left footer. For me personally, he can't defend, so I would not want him playing centre midfield. And to get his finishing high enough to play him as a centre forward, you'd lose too many points from elsewhere. So I'm looking at him absolutely as an attacking midfielder or an SS. This is the way I would allocate his points. Certainly as an AMF. So very tidy on the ball, very nice passing. His finishing's not brilliant, but it's decent enough. Offensive awareness is good, especially with a whole player. The one area where he's not the best is his speed. He's not an explosive player. He's not someone who's going to get on the ball and start skilling past defenders and, you know, taking defenders for pace. He's not that type of player. He's a tidy technical player. So if you like your players to have pace and skill moves and all the rest, he's not going to be your cup of tea. But if you like players who are more about end product, who are just technically very tidy, this guy could be for you. He's a very neat and tidy player, and I like him a lot. So like I say, technically great, but not the quickest. Acceleration is decent enough though. The kicking power is going to hit 80 in the game plan boost. Balance is decent. Stamina's good, especially for a whole player. If we look down at his skills, like I say, he's not a skiller. He's not that type of player. If you want to go dribbling and skilling around, especially with the lack of pace here, he's not going to be your cup of tea. But if you want the end product, heading, long range drive, dipping shot, heel trick, first time shot, one touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, I think the only thing he's really lacking end product wise is long range shooting. He's got track back as well. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but bear in mind, even though he's a whole player, which means he's going to be doing a lot of forward running, track back means he'll be doing some running back as well. He does have good stamina. When we hit that game plan boost, 90 for stamina, he can do that. He'll get up and down the pitch. He'll do a lot of running, get into a lot of good positions. Like I say, the pace isn't brilliant, but it's not too bad. The balance is good. You see here on the ball and with his passing, there's a few 90+ attributes there and good awareness as well. I think this is a really good attacking midfielder. And as an SS as well, I think he can be really, really effective. Getting into good positions, loads of end product. If you were playing the SS, you could take a bit away from his passing. You could take the passing down to maybe down to 6 there. Whack a load on his finishing. Get that up to the 80 mark. You can still put one back on his passing there. You could do that if you play him as an SS. Then when he gets into those good attacking positions from an SS, that finishing there could be very effective. Like I say, I've got his 3-star card. I like it. It's very neat and tidy. He's got good end product. I like it a lot. So when I saw this guy was in here as a 5-star, I was very excited. So I'm looking forward to getting this guy. If he's the type of player you like, he could be a good one for you too. Now we get to the last two, and these are the two most people are going to be excited about. So we've got Min-Jae, and what you get with Min-Jae, I mean, you know what to expect. He's a big, strong, very good centre-back. Down here, you see his attributes very strong defensively. He's going to be 90+ in all these in the game plan. He's got pretty good pace for a centre-back. That speed's hitting 80 in the game plan. Physical contact 90, jumping 85. So you see with all the attributes that matter with Kim, he's a destroyer, he's a thug, he's very effective, he's got good attributes. You get that game plan boost, boom, 90+ all of defensives, physical contact 92, now the speed's at 80. He's a really good centre-back, but the one key thing with this card that I think makes it really valuable, man marking. His base card doesn't have it, most other versions of him don't have it. There have been a couple of Player of the Week versions of him that do have man marking, but most versions don't. This for me is a bit of a low-key game changer. So man marking now goes with everything else: interception, acrobatic clearance, fighting spirit, aerial superiority, blocker, sliding tackle. He now has pretty much the complete set of skills for a centre-back. You could argue he could do with heading, but I don't think he needs it desperately. He's already got 85 for heading. His heading's going to be decent enough. But man marking for me is a big addition. So for me, as you can see, it's obviously he's a very good centre-back, but especially with man marking being added to his skill set, I think this is a great card, and I'm very keen to get this. And then finally from South Korea, we've got Son. So he's down as a goal poacher. He can play centre forward or he can play wide left. This is how I would train him as a centre forward. See, the awareness is great at 90. pretty tidy on the ball for centre forward. Passing is going to hit 70 plus, both low and lofted in the game plan. 88 finishing will hit 90 in the game plan. Likewise, speed and acceleration. Bounce is going to hit 80. Great stamina for a centre forward. He's just a really, really good pacey goal poacher, to be honest. We hit their game plan boost. As you can see, fantastic. This is a really, really excellent centre forward with the goal poacher playing style. He'll get in behind and take chances. But even if you don't get in behind, he can turn back and he can hold on to the ball. You look down the skill set. Bit of dribbly stuff, but then long range drive, long range shooting, acrobatic finishing, first time shot. He's got a great selection of skills there. He's going to be brilliant at getting into the right positions and taking chances for you. You can play him as a wide left as well, like I say. For that, you could take a bunch off his shooting, take that right down there, give him a bit more passing maybe. Maybe he's a bit more pace, I guess. We've got 6 left still, put a bit on dribbling. Can we get his dribbling up to 90? I bet we can. How many do we need for that? Not too many. But hit the 90 mark for dribbling. Fantastic. Wide left with the pace, decent enough balance, great stamina, awareness, dribbling. Long range drive is going to be very effective with his long range curves, with the finishing curl both in the 80s. Great card. It's not the best version of some we've had. Had a couple that went to 97. This one is one of about 2 or 3 cards that have gone to 96. So it's not the best, but it's one of the best. It's a very good card though. If you want a good version of Son, you don't need to look much further. This is a great card. So yeah, an excellent version of Son. And that's a pretty good pack. So on to Japan now. We've got another 11 players. No 4 stars this time. They're all 5 stars. So let's have a look at who we've got. We'll start with Nakayama. With Nakayama, he's kind of good in a lot of ways. Most of his defensive attributes are really good. Tackling's not brilliant. Could be worse though. The pace is okay for a centre-back. He's a little bit lacking physically though. He's only 6 foot. His jumping's only 81. His physical contact's only 76, which is pretty bad for a centre-back. So he's a bit lacking there. So in terms of his attributes, I think ultimately, I mean, you could take a few away from his defences, but then the tackling would be a bit too low. So ultimately, he's a bit lacking in terms of the attributes, but here's the killer. No skills whatsoever. That's obviously bad enough, but I think that's a mistake by Konami because his base card has skills. He's got 3 or 4. I think he's got heading, one-touch pass, interception, maybe captaincy as well. I don't know what's happened. There's no logical reason why they would have left his skills off on purpose, so they've obviously made a mistake. So Konami, please fix that. But yeah, without those skills, and especially the fact that he's a little bit lacking physically and aerially, it's a little bit of a disappointment of a card. He's got some qualities there elsewhere, but it's a pretty major weakness with the physical and aerial, and obviously the lack of skills. Yeah, Konami, I think, have messed up there. Then we have another centre-back, Taniguchi. So Taniguchi does have skills, but not many. Heading and aerial superiority, but the only other one he's got is captaincy. No interception, no man marking, blocker, acrobatic clearance, so badly lacking in skills. Very good defensive awareness, but elsewhere, nothing really special. Those attributes, pace, not brilliant. Physical and aerial, okay, it could be worse, but not brilliant. Ultimately, yeah, it could be a worse card. You could put the skills he needs onto him, but it's going to take a lot of skill trainers, and he's not really brilliant with his attributes. So ultimately, it's not too bad of a card, but it's really not a great one. Then we have Tanaka, defensive midfielder. So Tanaka, as a defensive midfielder, the first thing I noticed there is physical contact is not great, and he's not got great balance either. Plus, he's not the quickest, so physically he is a bit lacking there. Looking down at the skills, again, I mean, long range shooting, it's not going to come in too handy, is it? Weighted pass, okay, it's a nice one. Man marking, interception, good. Could do with a few more. Definitely could do with one-touch pass. Man marking, interception, the most important ones though, so he's not too badly lacking, but certainly could do with 1 or 2 extra ones. He's not brilliant down the left, but he could be worse. With the game plan boost, we'll hit the game plan boost just to preview. You see, he does get 80 for ball control based on how I've trained him. Passing is decent. Pretty strong defensive attributes, to be fair. Pretty good there. But like I say, athletically, he's a little bit lacking. The stamina is good, but he's not the quickest. The physical and balance a bit lacking. So, yeah, on the whole, he's got some qualities. He's got a couple of the most important skills, but he's a bit lacking in skills otherwise. And he's got a bit of a weakness athletically there. So, not a bad card by any means, but not a brilliant one either. Then we have Ueda, striker. So, first thing to say about this guy, I got a version of him from I think it was the Asian Fans Choice Pack a while back. And I was quite keen to get it because I'd had a Player of the Month one from J-League, which was only like a 2-star, but it was quite decent. And the one in that pack that I got was a 4-star. And I'll be honest, I was a bit disappointed. It just didn't feel that great. This is a slightly better version, but not too different. So I'm not sure what to expect from this guy. Based on my experience with the 4-star one, I'm not sure this guy's going to be too great, but he's a goal poacher. He's got good awareness and finishing, and he's got pretty decent pace. So he does look all right. He's not brilliant on the ball. He'll get 80 on the ball control at least with the game plan boost. One thing that's interesting with this guy, he's one of these goal poachers who, even though he's not the tallest, he's got a decent jump on him. And looking down the skills, heading, acrobatic finishing, aerial superiority, he should be decent from crosses. Not amazing because he's not the tallest, he's about 5'11", but he should at least have some aerial ability there. And then he's got first time shot, the most important one, and he's got long range drive and long range shooting. So yeah, there are some qualities there. As a goal poacher, someone to be in the right place at the right time, bit of pace about him as well, could be pretty effective. And we'll just hit that game plan boost and just show you there. Gets 80 for ball control, but also 90 for awareness, 90 finishing. Two most important attributes there. Bit of pace about him. So yeah, I've not had a great time with the 4-star version of him that I've got, but if I pick this one up, I'll certainly give him a go. And he does look like he's a pretty decent goal poacher, a bit of everything. So looks like a decent card. Then we have Asano. So Asano, you see from the positions, the question is, where do you play him? As a centre forward, I don't think you can get his awareness and his finishing high enough to make him an effective centre forward. As an SS, you could put him there, but I don't think he's quite got the passing. I don't think that's where he's best. I think the best way to use this guy is as a wide man, just focusing on his pace, to be quite honest. The way I've trained him here, as you can see, he's got good pace, balance is decent, stamina's okay, down the left there, he's decent on the ball, certainly with his dribbling. Not great tight possession. Offensive awareness can get to 80 with the game plan boost. Like I say, the passing is not brilliant, but you can get the finishing up to the 80 mark with the game plan boost. He had that game plan button there, like you see. Pretty good on the ball. The awareness and finishing there up to 80. As a wide man, he's right-footed, so I'm not sure you'd want him on the right. Maybe he's more likely on the left, cutting inside onto his right foot. He's lacking skills though. Long range shooting's a nice one, dipping shot, some people like that. First time shot will be nice. Long range drive will be nice, so you can hit those long range curlers coming off the left flank. Super sub though. We've seen a few super subs in the career pack, and he's a super sub. So for a player who plays out wide with great pace, pretty good on the ball, he can finish. Could be an effective super sub. Yeah, ultimately, I don't think he's a brilliant card, but certainly he's got some qualities. And if you play to his strengths, certainly as a super sub, he could be an effective card. Could be a useful one to pick up, but nothing exceptional about him really. Then Minamino. Interesting one this. So we've got a whole player. He's a whole player who can play attacking mid, SS, centre forward, or he can play as a wide forward. So the way I've trained him here, it's kind of a attacking mid or an SS. It's difficult to get his passing particularly high because you have to put that many points on just to get it up to 81 there. Good on the ball, good awareness for attacking mid or SS. The finishing will get to 80 with the game plan boost. He's got decent pace, especially the acceleration. He should be pretty responsive, but that balance as well at 88, that's going to hit 90. If we hit that game plan boost preview there, like I say, dribbling gets to 90, balance 90, acceleration 92. Pretty tidy, to be honest. Good on the ball, good pace, and he's got end product. Looking down at the skills here, long range drive, long range shooting, acrobatic finishing, one touch passing, through passing, two very nice ones to have. He doesn't have first time shot. Outside curler, track back, again track back. You know, counter target if you don't want him to track back too much. With the passing, the skills that he's got, long range drive, long range shooting, I think he's best AMF or SS. Does have that end product. If you wanted to play him as a centre forward, you could probably train him to play centre forward. You'd have to take a bunch away from, I guess, passing, a bit off his dribbling. Don't know how many you'd have to take away to get his finishing high enough. I mean, straight away, that's not too bad. A couple more there. On there, yeah. I mean, just like that, to be honest, you can make him a pretty decent centre forward, but he doesn't have first time shot. So if you plan to use him as a centre forward, you could train him that way. It could be a pretty effective one in that position, but you would need first time shot. Otherwise, the way I trained him, or you could go with auto allocation. There's a few ways you could train him. I think you could make him with the skills he's got, and with the attributes, depending on how you train him, could be a very effective attack midfield, SS, or out wide. Like I say, with first time shot, could make him a centre forward. So it looks like a pretty useful card. You could use him in a number of different ways. I would use him the way I trained him, the way I showed you initially, as an attacking mid or SS. I think he could be pretty effective. So, yeah, pretty good card on the whole, I think. Then we have Ito. So, I've reallocated his points here because with the auto allocation, he didn't have enough in his passing. And the thing with this Ito card is he can only play as a right winger. That's all he can do, and he's right-footed. So, really, the only way to use him effectively is to have him bombing up and down the right flank, putting crosses in. Does have pinpoint crossing. He's got through passing as well, which is nice. Outside of that, it's got long range drive, but playing on the right as a right footer, it's not going to be too handy unless you give him an outside curler and you cut inside and try and do a kind of trivela with the outside of his boot. Super sub, we've got another super sub. A pacey winger, always nice to have as a super sub. But yeah, this guy, I think it's pretty clear the most effective way to use him. On the right, getting up and down the flank, putting crosses in. He's been playing very well in France for Rams. So he's going to be getting A and B form quite often on this basis. But yeah, looking at the strengths, obviously great on the ball. I've got his passing up to the point where I think it's respectable. Certainly his crossing. Good pace. If we hit that game plan boost preview there, as you see there, great on the ball, a couple of 90s there. Low pass gets that 80. He's got through passing, remember. Lofted pass 82. His crossing is not going to be amazing, but he's got pinpoint crossing, so it should be decent now. Like I say, I've got his passing. I've got 10 on his passing now, put quite a few points on there. And then 90 speed acceleration. He's rapid, good stamina, balance is decent. So yeah, if you like old school wingers, a right footed playing down the right flank, bombing up and down, getting crosses in, I think this is an effective card. But if that's not your type of winger, then he might not be for you. But if he suits you, yeah, good card, especially as a super sub. Then we have Morita, who is down as a defensive midfielder. He can play as a centre mid though. I've got a previous version of him as a centre mid. He's been doing quite well for Sporting Lisbon. I like the look of him, to be honest. I think he's a tidy player. As a defensive midfielder, I would train him like this. Strong defensively down here, especially with the defensive awareness. Reasonably tidy on the ball. Pretty decent passing for a defensive mid. And then down the right there, he's not brilliant athletically. He's not the strongest, but that physical contact will hit 80 with the game plan boost, and the stamina's pretty good. If we look down here at the skill set, soul control is a nice one to have on a midfielder. One touch pass and through passing likewise. So he's got good passing, but then man marking and interception, two crucial ones. He's got really good skills there for a defensive mid. And if you play him as a centre mid, to be honest, with that one touch pass and through passing. So he can do both roles. As a defensive mid, as I say, that's how I train him. Get the game plan boost there. So he's very nice defensively there. That awareness 92, technically tidy. We get to 80 for physical contact, good stamina. I think it could be a pretty effective defensive mid, to be honest. As a centre mid, what I would do, I would go take some down to 9. Don't need quite as much aerial. We're gonna do that, I think, as a centre mid. So get that balance up to 80. Stamina's good at 88 still. It's got pretty average pace, not the quickest, but not too slow either. Physical contact is decent enough for a centre mid. He's 80 plus on all his defences. This is with the game plan boost, remember. And down the left, tidy on the ball, good passing. Remember, one touch pass and through passing. He's got a bit of everything. Really nice all rounder. But for me, one thing that's key with this guy, if you play him as a centre midfielder and if you train him like this, offensive awareness 82, defensive awareness 88. He's into the 80s on both offensive and defensive awareness. And I do feel like you notice that. The first player that springs to mind when I look at those two, both those awareness attributes being in the 80s. I got a version of Goretzka quite a while back now, and he's got both those in the 80s, and I feel like you really noticed that. He's just everywhere. He's always reacting, getting into the right position. I like that a lot. So yeah, the previous version of Morita that I got, I like. It's more of a centre mid, whereas this one's down as a defensive mid, but they're pretty similar on the whole. But I'm very keen to get this card. Like I said, with the awareness going forward and defensively being good, technically good, defensively good attributes down there. Down here, he's decent athletically, good stamina. And like I say, you can train him to play as a defensive mid or a centre mid. I think this is a card that maybe a lot of people won't realise how good he is. I think this is a good card. I'm very keen to pick out myself. So yeah, quite a fan of this one. Then we have another defensive midfielder, Endo. So this is how I train him. It's pretty much what you'd expect from Endo. Defensively very strong. Not brilliant technically down the left. I'd like him to be a bit better down there, but it's hard to allocate too many points without taking away from his defensives. Not the quickest. He has a bit of strength and balance about him. They'll both hit 80 with the game plan boost. 85 stamina is decent enough for a defensive mid. If you do hit that game plan boost, like I say, you see both those hitting 80. Good stamina. Those defenses are very nice. It'd be nice if they all hit 90, but you can't have it all. You can always obviously allocate these points however you choose to. And he's a bit tidy with a few of these hitting 80 down the left there for his technicals. If you look down at his skills, heading, long range shooting, don't think that's going to matter too much. Weighted pass is nice, low lofted pass. He doesn't have one touch pass, that's a miss. I would like to get one touch pass on him if I get this card, which I plan to. Defensively though, man marking, interception, acrobatic clearance, and then captaincy and fighting spirit, a couple of bonus ones down there. He's got a good selection of skills. One touch pass, like I say, would be a good one to throw into the mix. But yeah, on the whole, it's a pretty strong defensive midfielder. One other thing that you can do with Endo that some people might not think of is you can train him to play centre back. You can't make him a right back because he's too slow, but if you train him to play as a centre back, what you can do, let's take all these down. So, I'll do that. So, reasonable pace, get the jumping and physical to a nice level. Very good balance for a centre back. Likewise, fantastic stamina for a centre back, and then all the defences down the middle, fantastic for a centre back. Great tackling at 97. Down the left there, quite a few over 70. So, as a centre back, you could make him pretty damn good actually. The obvious concern though, 178 centimeters, so he's like 5'10 roughly, something like that. He's a bit lacking in height, so if you're going to do that, play him as a centre back, you're really going to need to put aerial superiority on him. So if you gave him aerial superiority, you could have a nice little centre back on your hands, and I mean little because he's a bit short, but with aerial superiority and those attributes, could be effective there. So just something to keep in mind there with Endo. So he could be a pretty tidy defensive mid, but could be a pretty decent centre back as well. Then we have Kubo. So Kubo, wide right, attacking mid, SS. You've got options for where you want to use this guy. Wherever you use him, he's pretty tidy. So not got crazy pace, but acceleration's good. Balance is great. Stamina's not too bad. Very nice on the ball. Passing and finishing are okay. They're not brilliant, but they're decent enough. Offensive awareness is good. We look down the skills. There's some dribbly stuff for the dribblers. Soul control is nice. Long range drive coming off the right flank onto his left foot. That's a good one. One touch pass and through passing, especially if you're playing through the middle, so he can create. He's got a bit of end product. This for me is how I train him to play wide right. Like I say, he's going to be responsive. He's going to feel very nice on the ball. Hit the game plan boost preview here. 90s on the ball there. Fairly nice passing. Finishing likewise. He's got finishing and curl both at 80. Long range drive means he's going to have a very nice long range curler, like I say. Offensive awareness, very good playing out wide. That acceleration and balance both being 90 plus. If you play him as an attacking midfielder, what I would do is... What would I do? I would go... I would go like that. So as an attacking midfielder, give him a bit more passing. He's got one touch pass and through passing. Make the most of that. So he's got lovely end product to create chances. He's still got 80 for finishing. Still really tidy on the ball. Good awareness. He's quick. He's responsive. Yeah. It is pretty much what you'd expect from Kubo. It's a very good Kubo card. I'll be very happy if I get this. He'll go into my Japan squad. And you can use him, like I say, down the right or through the middle. Versatile. I think that's a very good card. And then we finish with Mitoma. So another guy who's going to feel very nice on the ball. What you expect with Mitoma. Great dribbling. His awareness is going to get 80 with the game plan boost. Passing likewise. Finishing is already at 80. Got very good pace. Very good balance, good stamina. You look down the skills. The dribblers all love this guy. He's got a load of skill moves for you. Soul control, obviously. First time shot, nice one to have. Outside curler, likewise, is useful. It would be nice if he had long range drive to really maximise his long range curlers. If you get him, if you plan to use him regularly, long range drive is the skill, or long range curler. That's the one you're going to want to put on him really. Maybe he's one touch pass, through passing as well. But I think long range curler is the most important one for this guy for what he's good at, because he plays on the left. He's a right footer, and when you cut inside onto his right foot, that's when he's going to be at his most dangerous. And when you check the game plan boost there, as I say, the awareness goes to 81, low pass at 80. There's a bunch of attributes going to 90 plus. It's what you expect from a Mitoma. Roaming flank, playing down the left, drifting inside, take up interesting positions. With his pace being as good on the ball as he is, the fact he's got decent enough passing and finishing. Very effective card. It's a good version of Mitoma. So yeah, if he's your cup of tea, very nice card. So there you go. I think there are some pretty strong players in both those packs. I think obviously Son and Kim in the South Korea pack, very good cards. Kim especially with the man marking skill. Some other decent ones in there as well though. Japan likewise, you've got a bunch of decent ones. You've got Kubo, Mitoma, Endo. I think Morita is one that a lot of people will sleep on. So yeah, some very nice players across those two packs. And like I said at the beginning, I'll be doing another video covering the best players from all the other 8 packs. I won't be covering every player obviously because that would be like a 3-hour video. But yeah, look out for that video coming up soon. There are some pretty decent ones in those packs as well, I think. So hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you soon.